Good evening. My name is Violetta. My son Leszek will ask me questions, and I'm a psychic, so I will answer the questions with my eyes closed. I will expect to see visions and as a picture, so I will have to answer them.
All right. Well, we'll start with some subscriber questions, and then I'll have some of my own questions at the very end. So the first question is, I forgot who wrote this, but it is reported that Donald Trump paid a porn star $130,000 to stay silent over an alleged affair. Did Donald Trump have an affair with this porn star named Stephanie Clifford?
And it was more time than once, because in Hourglass, so I don't think they were smelling roses, they were having an affair.
What do you mean, Hourglass?
I don't know, it looks like there was some time that they were doing this, not only once.
What did you see?
Hourglass.
Okay.
So when you ask me about affair, I think it's timing related, so it was probably more than once.
All right. Did Stephanie Clifford, this porn star, blackmail Donald Trump into paying her $130,000?
Yes. I don't want to say what part of his body I have seen, so I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. Okay, so BBS Mummy First would like a reading on Tom Steyer. He's known as the impeached Donald Trump guy.
Multimillionaire.
Yeah. Recently announced he's donating $30 million for the Democrats' grassroots Next Gen campaign for 2018. It's the Blue Wave. What are his true intentions for American people?
He has some of his own plan to be in the government. I think he wants to be popular. He has a lot of things on his mind because it's a lot of energy. And by the way, he paid once $10 million for advertisement as well. Those advertisements.
Well, I think he just paid like $150 altogether. But
okay. I think he wants to go into politics on his own. So he wants to be a big kahuna in the politics world.
He says that he doesn't. So,
but he wants to be in the spotlight.
Will Steyer run for president?
He might make a lot of waves. I don't think he will be going that far, but there will be a lot of waves about that.
What reason is prompting him to act against Donald Trump?
It's novel because I see a picture of Mary and the child, so I think he feels it's his obligation. It's like his religion. He wants to do something good.
So it's selfless.
It's selfless, yeah. I think he has a good intentions. I'm surprised because I saw those religions pictures. You don't see them here in Canada, but in Europe you see a lot of them in every household. At least before, not anymore, actually.
Nadine Shari asks, if Oprah runs for president in 2020, will she win?
If she runs, that's the questions. She will be a lot of spots, a lot of attention all over the world. Everyone would love her to win. But I don't know if she wants. That was the question. I think if she will want to, She will
If
have
she
so much support.
Does she want to run for president in 2020?
Such a heaviness on her. It's like something is squeezing her. She's afraid of doing this. She's pushing herself down to the ground. She wants to be grounded because, like the vice, it's squeezing her. She doesn't know if she wants to go that way. In my opinion, she's such a soft soul, and it takes a strong person to send people to the war. And that's her worries, that she might not be strong enough to go from that pressure.
So I asked you, does she want to? Will she? Will Oprah run for president in 2020?
4 spots. How you understand that? She will make speeches because it was like camera spots. Pictures of camera, like you have those pictures of, and it's 4 of them. Maybe she will. I don't know. I'm not convinced. If those spots were meaning that she will. I don't have.
What did you see?
4 pictures of camera, like you have on a Skype. Those pictures that tells you that you are click on that and it's a camera. So those drawings of cameras, 4 of them. If she will go for one round, like 4 years. Oh no, they have 4 years, yeah. We have 5 in Canada.
In the midst of the Fire and Fury book release, Trump wants to change the libel laws. What effect will this have on Americans' freedom of speech if he has his way?
Exclamator is pulled to the ground. A lot of impact. Exclamator is impact on people. Put this to the ground. It's like a stamp. People will be having
exclamation mark, yeah.
Yeah, they will be stamped with that exclamation mark. So they will be chosen, and then the FBI will have to watch them. It wouldn't be as free to speak like we are doing.
No, it wouldn't.
But that was the huge exclamator, and it's like a stamp so people will be, they will know who is against Trump or government or blah blah blah. It will be going backwards, so I don't think they will let him.
So it's like their voice will be stamped to the ground.
Yeah, and they will. If he will succeed, I don't think he will. It will be so obvious because it will be exclamator is making.
Will he succeed
with pushing that?
With changing the libel laws.
No.
It has been reported Trump made comments about Africa and Haiti being S-hole countries. The White House made no attempt to correct the allegations. Did Trump say that slur about Africa and Haiti? Did he actually say that?
Yeah, because today I heard on Fox that one lady was on the meeting and she said, I didn't hear it.
She said she didn't hear it.
She didn't, but she was from Republican. Of course, he was smiling when he was saying. He's laughing. He did say it, and
I think he called some friends afterwards to brag about it.
Of course, he's laughing that he is causing so much turmoil, and 60 few countries actually ask him to apologize. So it's a big thing.
60, yeah. How did Obama react? How did Obama react when he heard what Trump said?
He felt about him the same way as he called the other countries.
What a asshole president.
I think so, yeah.
Do that. He's a jackass.
What is Obama prepared to do about it?
He might feel, but he is not really yet into a fighting mode. He's thinking and thinking and thinking. He is using his third eye, but he is completely shocked if he can do anything about that. He's going to use his intuition when he can attack, but not yet. When we are using our third eye, usually we are waiting and concentrating and communicating.
Like Trump is clearly stealing the dignity of African American people. They've worked for so many years trying to establish, their equality. Will the African American people begin a movement against Trump and the Republican Party that protects him?
Ooh, the vibrations are building. It's like building a volcano. There will be a lot of protests. And I'm surprised because this is Luther King weekend and I don't know if there was any manifestations yet. But everyone will be eventually so upset with him that there will be like a volcano eruption. Because I see volcano is usually flat on top and the mountain. I didn't see yet eruption, but you expect that if I see that will be the eventual eruption.
Was that comment that Trump made about African people,
people from those countries, yes.
From those countries, yeah. Was that spontaneous or was it planned?
It's like glass of someone who is drinking, spontaneous. He was not preparing for that. It's like a drunk person speaking. They usually think that when they are sober, but when they are drunk, they will say something. So I think that's on his mind. And then he was...
Just came out.
I don't think he was taking some of his medication because he was going for tests. So in those few days, he did few stupid comments.
That's right, yeah. How is Trump doing with those medical exams? Yeah.
He will have to take some more medication. I see a boat, and it's not that he can pedal. He have to put the angel on the end of the boat, so they will have to give him some medication to push him forward. So he will be taking some extra medication on top of the ones that he is taking. Because that boat has an angel. Usually when I see a boat, it's paddling, and so they would like him to go more smoother.
Is it a life-threatening thing?
His aortas are plugged, so they have to watch over that.
Oh. Arteries.
Arteries, yeah.
What is Trump talking about when he says drain the swamp? Is he alluding that the government is corrupted by special interest groups, corporations, and the extremely wealthy? Because in that case, he should stop hiring the corporate juggernauts into all the positions of power and instead make laws to stop the government from accepting corporate bribes, such as lobbyist groups, campaign donations, and seats on corporate boards. Or, by swamp, Is he referring to the regular people who are too poor to be allowed into his golf clubs and the same types of people who were the targets of the university scam, the Trump university scam? Who's he referring to by swamp? Who does he want to drain?
Okay. It's like a wasp nest. He wants, I think, get rid more from the regular people who are hardworking, because it's a wasp or a bee's nest. I saw a wasp nest, but they have to work hard. He wants to get rid of regular people who are making noise. If he would like to clear the swamp, he wouldn't put those multimillionaires with the interest there. Come on.
Right. Okay. Trump had 6 corporate bankruptcies between 1991 and 2009, totaling 10 hotels and casinos altogether.
10?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there was 6. 4 of them were solitary casino and hotels, right? And then the other 2 were corporations involving each one of those involved a set of 3 hotels and casinos. So his bankruptcies kept on getting bigger and bigger as time went on. Then he had problems. After that, he had huge problems. He was in debt, and he had a hard time getting loans from banks. But the one bank that bailed him out was the Deutsche Bank.
Mm-hmm.
And the President of the United States owes more money to Deutsche Bank than any single lender in the world. Over $300 million that we know of. What does Deutsche Bank get in return for lending to Donald Trump?
Oh. It's some crossroads. So the 2 lines are very visible, but the other 2 I can't really see. It's like going this direction, but I can see the other mirror of those lines, but they are very
Murky?
very milky. Yes, I can see them that well, but it looks like those 2 lines are this way, and they are very, especially one is very good going down.
Yeah.
And then it's like this way, but on
The
another
reflection.
side, and then another side I can see very milky, foggy.
So
don't know.
something shady going on?
Something that we can't really can see. We can't really put. It's not visible for us, not obvious. So they want something. Yeah, why would they give him that much money if he has bad reputation of paying back?
Right?
And he took them to the court. He sued them about something last year or 2 years ago. I heard that.
Yeah, there was something like that. Something shady.
And they still gave him money. So
Yeah.
he has something on them. They have something on him. Cooperation, collusion, whatever you call this.
Well, in a way, or if, say, they're working together, they can't give him money, right? But if he sues them for it, they can go along with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just...
It's something that both parties are doing something visible and then not visible.
In January of 2017, Deutsche Bank was found guilty in facilitating the laundering of $10 billion of dirty Russian money into American dollars.
I heard about that. They are money laundry bank, yeah.
Yeah. What was that money used for?
Oh, so who sued them? Americans? Or?
We're not talking about suing.
Oh.
We're talking about $10 billion that was taken from Russian rubles and put into American dollars. Where did that money go?
It's Christmas tree. I don't know. It's like a Christmas tree growing. How would you explain the Christmas tree? I have no clue, but maybe the viewers will understand as it's growing. Christmas tree is usually related to the good presents, good time, wealth. Because green is for money, so something spread it, because the Christmas tree has a lot of, pine tree has a lot of...
We get it. It's spread out. Has the money been used to bribe U.S. government officials?
Few of them, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, quite a few.
Quite a few.
Uh-huh.
Well, $10 billion buys you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How much of the American government has been tainted by this money?
It's like quarter.
A quarter of the government has been tainted.
Yeah, it's like a round thing, and it's
a slice.
Nice slice.
All right. Preet Bharara was the lead federal prosecutor investigating the Deutsche Bank scandal. And while he was still pursuing the federal case, like the state case was tried, and Deutsche had to pay like a few $100 million in penalties. But the federal case would have been in the billions.
With B.
Luckily, Trump was put in office, and Deutsche Bank, and well, I'll carry on. And while he was still while Preet Bharara was still pursuing the scandal or the federal case against Deutsche Bank, he was fired shortly after Trump took office.
Like everyone else, so many other lawyers.
Yeah, so many other lawyers, but
he was the biggest one.
And Trump promised him that he wouldn't be fired. Right? And it's never happened like that before. Normally, when you're firing lawyers, you have somebody to take their place. Trump had nobody to take the place.
I remember it was one day, Friday or whatever.
Yeah, he surprised them.
Everyone
was surprised. And they had about 12 hours to get their stuff and clean their desks, give their keys, and get out. Preet defied the order, and he stayed for an extra 12 hours. So he had 24 hours before relinquishing his post. What did Bharara do with that extra time?
Putting file over file over file over file. He made some photocopies of some files. I think he was in a panic mode, but it was like books flying over books, over books, over books. So
he had evidence.
He does, but he was confused if he will be needing them, so he had that dilemma. I don't know if he was able to take them out.
Was he able to take them out? Did he give any evidence to Mueller?
I don't know. He hidden them. I don't know if he was able to give it to them, but he put them in a dark place. I don't know if he was able to use them yet.
Okay.
Because I see that it's like under the stairs, one of the steps you are taking out, and he hiding them there.
In the stairs?
Stairs, yeah, staircase. And he opened one of the steps and put them there. So it looks like they are hidden. So the steps will be taken place. They will be open one day, and I don't know, but that's what I have seen him taking piles of, and I think they were photocopy piles and piles, and then he put them. That's not too much time, 24 hours. It's really little time in the place like that.
That's right. In 2008, in the middle of the housing crash, Russian oligarch Dmitry Rybolovlev bought a Palm Beach mansion from Trump, paying Trump $95 million for his $41 million property. And this is during the housing crash when,
the houses went down.
So,
and it's next to Mar-a-Lago somewhere.
Right, it's not too far away. Well, this oligarch, it's not like he wanted the house. He destroyed it. The lot's vacant.
Yeah, I heard.
He didn't do anything with it. Yeah, he didn't even step into it. What was Dmitry really paying Donald for? That extra $50-some million. What was that for?
It's some hole, and they are putting a pile in the hole, building up some pile of something. It's a hole in the ground, so they are accumulating something. It's like building up a hole. I don't know, something not completely understandable. It's more like a feeling some gap or whatever. I don't understand this. Can you ask differently? It looks like something that we wouldn't pay attention to because it's a hole in the ground, and it's nicely done, and they are hiding the money in the hole. Okay, so that's somehow black money.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't see them. And in the previous video, I said that there will be some key under the rock, so maybe that's another thing. In that place, that was hiding the money because it was transaction, and he paid him for something.
So it's money laundering.
Money laundering.
Also,
pulling him out of the hole, maybe.
Yeah, well, they both made money.
Yeah.
In a way. In 2008, at a real estate conference in Manhattan, Donald Trump Jr. reportedly said, "Russians make up a pretty disproportionate cross-section of a lot of our assets. We see a lot of money pouring in from Russia." Was Donald Trump Jr. alluding to the money his father was getting from Deutsche Bank when he said that?
He was advertising that the Russians are helping them, and it was like bored of. He was just bragging that they are helping them to get out of the hole or whatever, that they are paying them.
So it's just bragging, right?
Just bragging, yeah. And he was saying the truth, that they are giving them money, those oligarchs.
The former CEO, Joseph Ackerman of Deutsche Bank, left the bank in the midst of the Russia money laundering investigation. And
how long ago was that?
I'm not sure exactly, but it was in the midst of it. So, like when
2008. No, later.
When they found out and they were prosecuting Deutsche Bank, right?
So that was a year
that's
ago.
when he left, right? He didn't get caught by the cops. He wasn't arrested, even though they found this money laundering scheme. He just left, and what happened was he was promoted into a new chairman position at the Bank of Cyprus. So it's
another
you got
London
promotion.
bank.
Yeah.
Another bank.
Well,
who
it's
has a
another
good-
bank with a history of Russian money laundering, right? It's on the island of Cyprus by Turkey. Has a lot of Russians. Like I think 10% of the population there is Russian.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought there is a lot of Americans there. But
No, there's some Americans. There's a lot of that kind of sly stuff that goes on, but we'll get to that. In order to get the position as chairman, you need to be voted in by the largest shareholders, right? So it's not like he
But
just
you can go
went
and
there
apply
and
for the job.
applied for the job. No,
you have to
you have to be
given
sought
that.
out by the people that own the most shares in the company. Luckily, that Russian oligarch, Dmitry Rybolovlev, that same guy that bought that property from Trump, is the largest shareholder of the Bank of Cyprus with a 9.9% stake in the bank. So he owns 10% of an entire bank. My question is, has Trump, Ackerman, that CEO turned chairman, and
From German bank, Deutsche Bank.
from Deutsche Bank that went to Cyprus, and Rybolovlev, that Russian oligarch, ever been in the same room at the same time?
They had such a nice connection, telephones, sitting on the unusual chairs, like the round chairs, so comfy chairs.
Okay. Another billionaire who was a major shareholder in the Bank of Cyprus, not to mention he was also the vice chairman at the bank before Trump made him the Secretary of Commerce, is Wilbur Ross. So he's the Secretary of Commerce.
In American
He's on
government,
Trump's council.
Yeah, multimillionaire.
This guy that was the vice president of a bank that has a history of
Money
laundering.
Cyprus Bank, okay,
Yeah.
we get it.
He's the he's the Secretary of Commerce. The Secretary of Commerce.
Nice reputation.
We-
Background.
Trump put a Secretary of Commerce. So this guy, one of the major duties as Secretary of Commerce is setting up favorable international trade terms. This guy that's money laundering is in charge of setting up favorable international trade terms. When Wilbur Ross makes these trade deals between America and the rest of the world, will he do that in the best interest of the average Americans, the rich Americans, the Russians, or his own pockets?
So many questions.
Well, 4 choices.
Yeah. I see 3 choices. I think the rich ones, his own pocket, and what was the other question?
Rich Americans, Russians, and his own pockets.
So the three last ones are the right answers. Yeah. Not for the Americans, for the average people. No, I think it's more for benefits of the American oligarchs.
Well, though the investigation into the Deutsche Bank has gone dormant since Trump took office and put Judge Sessions in charge of the Justice Department. Judge Sessions, who fired Comey.
Of course.
And he hasn't done anything with... Because that was an open and shut case. The hard work was done.
And they could make billions of dollars.
Yeah, billions of dollars.
Yeah, they should.
But that's probably what's tying... Is Deutsche Bank what is tying Sessions and the rest of them to Donald Trump? This money laundering scheme. You said black money.
You frame it that so well. Frame and the big... it's like a ball hitting the net.
Yeah, goal. That's what it is. It's all Deutsche Bank. It's
frame and then
$10 billion.
Ball is hitting the net, and that's what it is.
Jesus Christ. So that was dormant till Robert Mueller subpoenaed Trump's records from Deutsche Bank at the start of December 2017. At least that's what sources say. Did Mueller get Trump's personal banking information from Deutsche Bank? Or did he get something that was...
It's not complete. It's not complete picture. No. Just 2 lines and there is missing the third of... it's not picture. No, they are going to wash some part of the...
They're hiding it.
They will hide it, yes. And that will be really hard to prove it because...
That's what Mueller's having trouble with, is these professionals have learned how to hide the money.
They are hiding the money, yes, because it's a triangle, which is for cheating, but the line from it's kind of bended and it's weak, so they are not going to let him to get to the truth that easy.
Also in December 2017, Robert Mueller asked the officials at the Bank of Cyprus for financial information relating to Trump. Did Mueller get what he was looking for?
They threw some stuff at him, but I don't know if that was enough. It was like letting the birds fly away. So no, I don't know if that was a clear picture either.
Trump's campaign manager, who has already been charged with conspiracy against the United States, like he's already been charged with that, which is a layman's term for treason, has also been accused of laundering millions of dollars through foreign shell companies, including many that were based in Cyprus.
Metaphor, yeah, you're talking about metaphor.
Yeah. Like, he's charged with conspiracy against the United States. With all this pointing in the same direction, like, I mean, how can that not be... You haven't done anything?
I had the vision, it's Statue of Liberty and someone is punching the Statue of Liberty. It's like a punch to the Statue of Liberty. They will try to get away. Oh my gosh, that the banks will be hiding things. That's the money.
Will the banks get away with it?
They will have some umbrella over them. There will be a hole in the umbrella, but they will have umbrella. So the hole is the clue, but he has to find the hole that will break the umbrella, because they have the umbrella over them. So they will be.
So that's what Mueller's been going for the whole time. He hasn't been going for collusion. He's been going for the
banks, yeah. And he knows that that's where the bad thing is hidden, but it's not easy for him to find, and they are going to cut his finances to go after those banks, because they will cut on those, they will try to cut his legs to not get them.
How do you see that?
I just have the feeling that they will be fighting with him. Sometimes I have feelings too. That's it?
Well, one more. This one's from Diana St. Clair. She writes, the Winter 2018 Olympics in South Korea will take place from the 9th to the 25th of February. How will North Korea act during these Olympics?
They will be lifting something, but they still will be doing some shooting, like disorientation. It's like shooting the targets, but it's not high, it's just for practice, kind of. So that they want to stoke...
so they'll stoke the fire a little bit?
Yeah, because they don't want South Korea to be
Too carefree?
Too carefree, yeah. They know that they can sabotage that way some amount of people coming to South Korea. They will feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
If you could tell Mueller where to look, where would you tell him to start? How can he find the evidence he's looking for?
When it's down there on the Wall Street, when you deal with your Wall Street things, when it's down, what is that? Selling or buy? It's selling.
When it's
stock is going down, yeah.
Yeah, more people are selling than buying.
Okay. It's like the bottom.
Recession?
It's something like that. He has to figure out when they are selling the stocks, who is buying them, because it's that lineup from the stock. So he has to figure out who is selling and who is buying the stocks. That's when the transactions take place. The money laundering is when they are buying and selling and then buying again.
So he has to look through the records.
Through the records, but related to the Wall Street of those banks.
So when everybody's selling and then you got somebody that's buying a whole bunch.
It's a lot because it's looking like going really down and then it's going up. I know you were trying a few times to explain me the Wall Street, the lineups, and I never understood. But it was like going down and then going up.
That would make sense though. Only these guys have been doing it how long? Because I was thinking, so like if you go back to a time when the stocks are going down, for example, and everything's going down, it's kind of like a little recession, but you got one person that's buying a whole bunch
and making money out of it.
Well, not necessarily. It doesn't matter for these people if they make money or not. They just have to clean the money, so it has to be traceable. They can lose money, but even if they lose money, they've actually made money because they've cleaned money like that didn't really exist before.
It was like that lineup.
Yeah.
If I could be hopeful that way. But not when it's up, it's just when it's down.
So he needs to look at
the losses.
At the trades that were done that didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. When there are losses more than gaining. Who is buying, who is selling, and when.
Well, these were mirror transactions, a lot of them too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. That's it.
That was hard session for me. You have to understand that. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope we didn't bore you to death, but I'm just enjoying doing these things. And first time he's showing his face.
All right.
Oh, second time, but with me. Okay, good night.
Okay.
And see you next time. Bye-bye. Please subscribe.
If you would like to request a private Skype reading with Violetta, please email her at psychicvioletta@hotmail.com and discover what the future holds for you.